So we're still waiting for Vasily, who will join in a minute. But I can start by already thanking you all. Thank you very much for joining this community call with PowerPool. And today we are going to have a hell of a community call. And here we go, Vasily's here. Fantastic. So today we're going to have a hell of a community call because it's going to be packed with with information. PowerPool has huge news to communicate. If you have been following on Twitter, you might already know what we're talking about. But yeah, I'm quite happy to introduce Vasily here, who will start. How about we start with a little bit of an introduction for what PowerPool is.
Yep. Hi, Lansky. Thank you for the kind words. I'm so happy that I can make some presentation here for the DappNode community, and this is our strategic partnership. So we rely a lot on DappNode, and we have a lot of DappNode users in our testnet. So and finally we go into the mainnet, and yeah, I think it's the best place to make all these mainnet announcements is DappNode community. So just give me 1 second. I will try to open my small presentation. Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to be posting here in the notes or in the chat. Remember that we have a chat specific for this community call, which is you'll find the chat bubble at the top right of your screen if you're on Discord for desktop. So here I just posted the announcement, but I think Vasily is ready, so we can go ahead with and hear it from Vasily's mouth.
Yep. So hello everybody one more time. So I'm a head of research in PowerPool, and I want to make a little presentation of what PowerPool is and what node you are running if you will run a PowerPool node. So what is PowerPool? PowerPool is a decentralized automation network for DeFi. What does it mean? It means that this is a network that can automate any kind of smart contract executions, on-chain executions. So we are DAO. We are building on-chain automation since 2020. So we made a lot of DeFi products in past in collaboration with Balancer, with some other high-profile teams, been mentioned in a lot of reputable sources, and there are even some tweets from our friends and supporters and partners who make some sharing of experience of what PowerPool has been building. But yeah, everything that we build required some on-chain automation, and you cannot find a reliable solution for that at all. So this was our first step to build something that can automate smart contract executions on chain. So and this is why we started to build our own automation network. And we built a V2 that I'm presenting now. So the main idea is that if you want to compound yields for liquidity position, if you want to automate some fund management, if you want to make some use of V3 position management, if you want to make liquidation protection or DCA strategies for buying tokens or any kind of other on-chain actions, you need to make on-chain transactions, right? So, and if you don't want to make it manually, you need someone to make it for you instead of you. So, and this is where the keeper bots are coming in the game. So the main idea of the automation network is to offer decentralized and robust service of transaction signing to any end user. So the end user can be a protocol or dApp or just a retail user. So for example, if you want to make limit order and make some swap in the IMM, and you want to buy, for example, Ethereum at particular price, and you need to make this on-chain transaction, you can just delegate this job to the network, and the network will execute it according to the conditions at the time when conditions will be met. So you don't need to do that. The network will do it. And you can make much more complicated strategies for that. So it means that you can make jobs that will have a lot of logical conditions inside, or will even create a new jobs, for example, or will fund the gas costs based on some yield that you earn in some positions. So you can make much more operations, not just a simple limit orders or something. And what we think that in 3 years, 40% of mainnet transactions will be automated by keeper networks, and the PowerPool is one of them. So what is the node and why the node is needed? So the PowerPool works like in a way. So we have a PowerAgent contract. You have jobs registered in the contract, and you have some keepers. So keepers, they monitor the contract, and the jobs, they see when the condition is met. And when the condition is met, keeper should execute a job. If he didn't execute a job in a proper time or under the proper condition, it can be slashed by other keepers, and the other keeper will slash part of the stake. So it's like a penalty for no execution, for failure of the service. So and for doing that, keeper requires an RPC, of course, to know all the events from the chain and be sure that all of these events are correct and up to date. So the keeper node is the node that can be run from the DappNode, and your RPC can be used, for example, from your Ethereum validator if you run one. So it means that if you already have an Ethereum node or Ethereum validator, you can just use it for the keeper node of PowerPool. You don't need to set up anything new for that, and you can start earning from the job execution. So it works in a way that job has some amount of Ethereum that is used for the gas costs and also for keeper rewards. So it means that if you sign a transaction according to some job, you receive the gas compensation and also some fee on top of that. So you're always earning Ethereum from these operations. So this is the main idea. So, and if you have Ethereum node, you can just get additional income stream just from the fact that you own a node. If you own a validator, you can just boost your validator rewards based on that. So like in more details, it works in a way that there are some jobs, there is a contract where all the jobs are stored. There are signer sets. Signer set is a set of keepers that can execute the transaction. They have some stakes in the native tokens of PowerPool and CVP. And the good piece of news is that PowerPool DAO will provide node running grants to everybody who runs a node and do it in a good way with a good uptime, etc. So it means that you don't need to buy any tokens. We will provide them for you, and it will be your initial stake. So you will just get free tokens that you can use for operations in the network and start earning Ethereum after that. So no need to buy anything. So the network selects the keeper based on the random algorithm. In the future, it also will be weighted by the stake with some additional restrictions. Also, the job owner can make a lower bound of the stake. For example, if his job is very important, he will allow only keepers with huge stakes to execute his jobs. And it's logical, because if you have some important job, you want to have bigger responsibility from the keeper. So, and also we have an algorithm that pays more Ethereum for bigger stake. It means that the bigger stake you have, the more is the execution fee for job owner. So the job owner need to pay more for your service because you have more risks in tokens. This is the basic idea. So when you are selected as a keeper, you execute a transaction, and if you executed the transaction correctly, you will get Ethereum gas cost compensations and rewards in Ethereum on top of that. But if you wouldn't make this execution on time or on condition, and other keepers can slash you and get part of your stake and also sign the transaction and receive all the Ethereum rewards. So yeah, the key features of the network is that it's efficient, decentralized, robust. I mean, when there will be a lot of keepers on Ethereum, it will be robust, because the bigger number of keepers correlates with the bigger robustness of the network, of course. It's quite easy to use. It's secure, and this is a first really decentralized network on the market. I mean, talking about staking, cryptoeconomic security, random keeper selection, and all the mechanisms that ensuring that this is something decentralized and not like whitelisted like in some other projects, for example. So there are two main types of jobs. Interval job, when you can execute something based on the time, or a resolver job where you can execute something based on the on-chain logic. For example, if your position has a health factor less than something, burn part of the debt and restore the health factor to avoid the liquidation or something like that. But it's mainly information for job owners. So if you are running a node, you don't need to dig deeply into these jobs types, because the node will execute everything automatically according to to the conditions in a job. So I think this is the interaction that I can make, because the other information is about the job creation, and this is not so important for this call, because our call is mostly focused on the keeper node running and all the setup features. So I can share the presentation of job creation if someone is interested to automate something through PowerPool. And if you want to check some automation and not pay a lot for gas costs, for example, you can use PowerPool on Gnosis Chain if you want to to play with it and just pay pennies for the gas and use it for your own pleasure.
Yeah, and I will provide more details on.
Wow, excellent. Okay, perfect. Wow, that was a lot of information, very condensed. So let me just summarize, and before we summarize anything, let me tackle the elephant in the room. You mentioned there's going to be a grant for node runners. This is wild because it means that basically we will need no initial investment to start running this. If we already run an Ethereum node, and most of us who are validating, they're already running an Ethereum node, they will get we will get a grant from PowerPool in order to run a keeper ourselves. Is that correct?
Yep. So let me provide more details how it will work. So at the current moment, the contract, the PowerAgent contract on Ethereum that is a core piece of the network, uses test CVP tokens. So this is not real tokens. This is just like tokens for testing, because we want all keepers to be sure that they know how to run a node, that they will avoid slashing, because the slashing can happen due to different reasons. Sometimes, of course, we tested all the software before this IMA and it works well without any slashes. But anyway, so we don't want like DappNode users to have risks in real tokens for initial operation, right? We want to have like a sandbox for that. So this is the main idea. So now when the DappNode user want to run a node, he need to fill the form. It's quite simple form. You need to provide Telegram account, your Ethereum address where we will drop tokens for you, these test tokens, and a couple of other questions that are voluntarily to answer. So if you don't want to answer, you can not answer. So it's not like no personal data is collected, of course. So after that, you will receive tokens, the test tokens that will be enough for initial stake for running a node, and you will be added to the special group in Telegram. And also, if you want, we can make the same thing in Discord here. So we have a Discord channel inside the DappNode channel. So we can make all the discussions there. For those who don't want to use Telegram, you can use Discord. We're open to use Discord, of course, here in DappNode. So you will set up a keeper, and you will run a keeper node and use your RPC or your full node or your validator, anything you have in DappNode. So what will happen after that? So during the operation, you will earn Ethereum. I mean, not test tokens, real Ethereum for jobs execution. So we will create several jobs, like test jobs on Ethereum, that will be funded by the DAO using Ethereum from the DAO treasury. And these jobs will be paid for all keepers in real Ethereum. So you will get cost compensation plus some execution fee on top of that. And besides that, possibly we will make some CP airdrops to most active node runners. For example, if you found some bug or vulnerability, provided logs, you will make some airdrop in real tokens for you. So, and after operation on this test contract, maybe 1-2 weeks, it depends on how efficient it will be. And the efficiency is measured on the amount of slashes. So if, for example, all nodes are running, there is no slashes, everything is fine, no problems with any one's DappNode, we will say, okay, now we will migrate all of this to the real contract and provide initial stake in CP tokens and real tokens that are traded on all the exchanges, have a real price, etc. To every keeper who participated in this initial testing. So so this is mainnet, but first 2 weeks we will run on test tokens just to avoid slashes, because if there will be slashes, you will lose your real tokens that cost real money for you. And I think it's good to not lose real money, right? So but this is the
absolutely approach. Yeah, fantastic. So let's just be clear. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, just to be clear, I think some of the DappNode members have already been using PowerPool on testnet. This is not what we are talking about. We are talking about running on mainnet with a mainnet RPC, but on 2 phases. Number 1, we are going to run this with test tokens. on mainnet, but test tokens. They're not going to be the final CVT tokens. But you're going to be running real jobs in mainnet, which means that these real jobs on mainnet are getting paid in ETH. So you will get already ETH from performing these jobs. And after that, after everybody has been able to successfully run their PowerPool node, and successfully run their PowerPool node means basically doing nothing or doing not much. Because everything, it's basically like a validator, right? Like it doesn't require anything active from your side. The software does it for you. But there might be some updates that you need to do, et cetera, et cetera. So if you run these mainnet keeper with test tokens, when PowerPool migrates to the real token contract, then you will get the real CVT token. So you can keep running this, and you will already feel very comfortable because you will already have been running this for a while. So yeah, perfect. I mean, like honestly, like I love this code. We're giving away stuff, but let's think a little bit. Let's think a little bit. Why is this important? Like why is this important? So you mentioned, Vasily, that at the beginning, you think that in the future, a lot of transactions will be automated. And I think this is a huge statement because, yeah, one thing that always have bothered me a lot when we're dealing with blockchains is that if you want to do anything on chain, you need to trigger a transaction. And that means going into your MetaMask or your Brave or your hardware wallet and basically signing with your private keys and going away and doing this. So if you're not in front of the computer, then you're basically screwed. And that's what happened, for example, on the Black Thursday for MakerDAO. I can't remember if it's Thursday or Tuesday, but like there was people who were sleeping, and MakerDAO had a system failure. A lot of people couldn't manage to top up their CDPs, and there was lots of liquidations. And this is an absolute disaster. Imagine that you're sleeping and there's a huge black swan event on chain, and you can't do anything. So a lot of the transactions, so a lot of this could be automated. Back then we were like maybe like 2017, 18, 19, I can't remember anymore. But yeah, there was no automations, and if you were not in front of your computer, you would be screwed. Now you can see that this is not great UX. You should be able to program transactions or automate certain things. And most of the times, or in the future, as Vasily was saying, in the future, it won't even be you who automates this. The apps that you are using will already be offering you the possibility of automating stuff, or they will be taking care of automating certain things. They will offer you services where you don't have to be behind the keyboard and triggering all of these transactions. So I think this is a huge part of it because this is real alpha for how the future of blockchain will work. And we talk a lot about layer twos. We talk a lot about restaking. Talk a lot about stuff, but this is actual use cases that are going to happen on chain. It doesn't matter if it's DeFi. It doesn't matter what it is. Users will do less and less transactions, and more of what they do will be automated. And I completely agree with this analysis. Now, here I haven't touched on the decentralization. I'm sorry, I'm ranting a little bit here, but I'd like to thank Vasily for this piece of alpha here. And there's one more thing that I'd like to consider here, and it's the decentralization, as Vasily mentioned. There's a very high chance that the people who run these automations, or the people who run these transaction flows, will be centralized actors. There is or at least that's how it's done right now. The main products, they are centralized actors with whitelisted keepers that are running basically all of this. And that's fair for now, but we have the possibility of creating a decentralized version of it, and to have people like us or people that are already running nodes having part of this business as well. And this business is going to be huge. And I think PowerPool gives us the opportunity to peek into this future right now and start participating from the beginning. So yeah, congratulations to the PowerPool team for getting up here and bringing the future to us. Now, not everything is happiness here. A lot of us are running a validator, like Vasily said. Now, if we run a keeper node, what can happen? Like, what is this keeper node requesting from our execution node? And is there any risk for our validators? I think this is a very fair question that a lot of us will have.
Yeah, let me answer this question. So basically, the PowerAgent node software mainly requests the new blocks and the events. So as Vasily mentioned in his short technical description, the PowerAgent node connects to the RPC, subscribes for the events through WebSockets channel, and listens to the events from the core PowerAgent contract. Like the only right operation here is to send the execution transaction again through this RPC. So there are like no points of risk in this connection. So basically, if something happens to the node software of the PowerPool, it doesn't affect the RPC node in any way.
Right. Okay. So it's basically only querying our node and asking for information and subscribing to events. No pushing any or messing with wallets or doing anything weird. I think this is important.
Yeah, no pushing and messing with wallets, and
Right.
Also for the keeper, you create a blank Ethereum address, which you are registering in the core contract, and it's like the completely separate account. It is not, of course, your main account or something like that, and it will be used only for signing transactions, signing the automated transactions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think that would give a lot of peace of mind to people that could have been doubting whether they were doing this or not. No chance of DDoSing the execution node with too many requests either, I hope.
Sorry, once again.
No chance of doing a denial of service, of like overloading the execution node with queries.
Yeah, basically we have countermeasures from this, and actually we do not have any actions that require a very large amount of information from the node. So the initial setup, which scans from like earlier blocks till the current block, it is done with a subgraph, so it doesn't like load the RPC node. And after that, it's only the matter of like querying the current block and querying the events. So like the regular execution node stuff.
Okay, perfect. So basically, really safe, even if you're running a validator. Fantastic. I think this was important. This was an important issue that I think a lot of node runners would be concerned about, because people are naturally very protective of their validator setup, and that makes total sense. Cool. So now that we have this out of the way, maybe I can ask a little bit more questions. And by the way, we're going to go into like the job creation in a few minutes. But in the meanwhile, please feel free to already ask some questions on the keeper, on the node running side, on the community call chat. So where will you find this community call chat? In the top right of your screen, if you are on desktop, you will find a chat bubble, and you can click there, and you can feel free to put your questions over there. Now, my question is to try to understand a little bit how this works. You said that the fees, so the gas fees are refunded, and So does it matter how high the gas is at that moment? Maybe that's also like a job creation thing. Can you set up only do this if the gas is below that or is above that?
Yeah, it is configurable both on the keeper side and on the job owner side. So if you like create a simple job for example, harvesting yields once a week, and you really do not care if like you harvest it today or tomorrow or like whatever. It is not a very important task. You just want your yields harvested sometime. Then you can set the max cap for the gas price, and if gas spike occurs, you won't be like drained of funds for executing a silly task. For more important tasks, of course, you can set the gas cap higher. For example, for liquidation protection, you will want to set it as high as you deem possible, because when something bad happens, of course, the network is overloaded, and yeah, you like want to actually be able to be protected from the liquidation. And on the side of the keeper node, again, you can like well, there are lots of parameters about the gas from the keeper side. Maybe I'll show them in the demo. Yeah, but basically the idea is the same.
I wish to clarify everything. From the job owner side, you set the maximal gas for the purposes of computing the compensation. So natively, via the parameters of the job in the agent, the job will be executed regardless of the gas price, but you only will pay with a certain cap. If you wish to condition the execution on the gas price, that will have to be implemented inside your contract, which is of course also possible.
Gotcha. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thanks for the clarification. There's the wavy.eth. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Wavy.eth. It's a 3-letter ENS name. That's dope. Congratulations on your ENS humble brag here. And he's asking, can you run a node if you are only running an ETH node without a validator, so without a 32 ETH? The answer is yes, I think, but I'll let the team tackle this.
Yeah, of course, from the node, you only need the execution client, so it doesn't matter if you are a validator or if you are not validating. Like, if you have the execution client and it's synced, then you're good to go.
Excellent. So yeah, so that's actually a really good way of start earning some yield on your node. If you have been running a node, then yeah, definitely like start doing this and start earning something just for doing this. And honestly, this tackles another part of what I've always been a huge defender of. That, I mean, we all want Ethereum to be decentralized, and I think until proof of stake basically gives you an incentive to run a node, because you cannot rely on anybody else's node when you're building your own blocks, right? And that has been like sort of a Cambrian explosion moment for normal solo stakers to really decentralize Ethereum, because Ethereum was getting more and more expensive to run a node. And expensive, I mean, just in the terms of the hardware that was needed. And when validators or when staking or proof of stake got online, then all of a sudden there was a mechanism. Now, if you are running, like if you're running a node, so the target is naturally people that are running validators, or it's easy to target people that are running validators because you know that they are running a node already. So it's perfect. It's a 2-for-1. So that's why a lot of the communications, Wavy, a lot of the communications go like, hey, if you're running a node, if you run a validator, do this. But actually what matters here in this particular case is just to have the node, just to have the RPC, and not so much the validator part. It's just that it's easier to go after validators because you know for sure that they are running a node. Gordon Gecko, also from the PowerPool team, also mentions that Gnosis Chain running a node requires a lot less resources, and PowerPool is also on Gnosis Chain. Now the rewards are also smaller, but the investment is also smaller. So can we find a mainnet package for Gnosis Chain as well on the Dapp Store, on the public Dapp Store?
So the package actually doesn't differ between the chains. It is super configurable, and you basically, while installing the PowerAgent package, you just select the network you want to run on from the list of available networks, and of course you pass the RPC address.
Beautiful, fantastic. So amazing, yeah, excellent. Any more questions from the public? Wavy's typing again.
Yeah, all the links I'll provide shortly when I start the demo. I have a huge pack of them.
Perfect. So I think we can go ahead with the demo, if you're okay with it.
Yeah, great. So let me share the screen. Everything okay? You can see it?
I can see it.
Yeah. So the links I promised to send. And now let's get to the demo. So to become a keeper, you will basically need two addresses. One is the admin address, and the other one is the one I mentioned before. It's like the separate account just for signing transactions. Of course, I created both and pre-funded them. Also, you will need to top up the admin account with test CVP tokens. I forgot to import them, but believe me, they are there. So the minimal amount of CVP you can stake is 1K. So you need more than 1K to more or equal 1K to become a keeper. And if your stake by some reason drops below 1K, your keeper will be automatically deactivated. Okay, so we'll start with registering the accounts. Of course, we connect with admin account. Everything will be done from the admin account. It may be your own account, which you use daily. Just the worker needs to be the separate one. Okay, we connected. And now in the tab agent contracts, you can select the version of contract. In the future, there will be different contracts with different configurations, but for now we have only the latest one. So create keeper, and here you have to pass this new fresh address. Boom. And stake some tokens. I'll stake 3,000 because why not? Of course, you firstly have to allow to transfer it. Let's wait for the transaction to execute. Yeah, it has to have two confirmations. Boom. And now you press create the keeper. Okay, so something is messed up. I think I connected with the wrong address.
Classic demo effect.
Yeah, classic. Once again. Well, if something doesn't work from the interface, you can also go here. Write contracts.
We're going full hacker mode now.
Yeah.
It's a proxy. You should write from proxy.
Yeah. Proxy. Register as keeper. Once again, worker copy. Did I connect? No, I didn't, of course.
Now, what this shows us, kids, is that you always should have a plan B, like
The
he has.
address. Right. So let's wait for more or equal 13 seconds. Okay, so while the keeper, oh, yeah, no while. So we register the keeper. The second step is to generate the key file, which will be passed to the PowerAgent node DappNode package. Yeah. I have some cheat links here. The key file generator script comes with the standalone PowerAgent from GitHub, but again, I cheated here and I just created the separate Git repo just for this script alone. So you have to clone it. Boom. CD, of course, into it. And here's the following trick. We run npmi to install all the dependencies. And we need our private key from the worker, from the clean address. I have a throwaway private key. Of course, it's not from my account, but just for the demonstration. Yeah. So with the script, you pass two values: the private key of your worker and the password for it. So the private key I have copied, and for the password, let's go with a very strong password of 1, 2, 3. Boom. And now you can see that in the folder keys, we have our key file, and of course it's here. Yeah, but of course I created the correct key file for the demonstration, so I just showed you how to create the key file. Now actually let's go to the DappNode and install the package. Let me again use my cheat sheet. Find the package. It is not yet signed because it's like in a development mode. Of course, when we launch on mainnet, it will be signed and you won't have to do this bypass thingy. Let's install. So worker address. Let's go and copy it. Well, actually from here. Worker key. Worker key file password. Remember 1, 2, 3. So we do it for mainnet, execution client RPC. I have a separate RPC here, and if you are running your mainnet execution client on DappNode, here is like a little hint. You can find it in the package of the RPC. So the actual link you have to pass here. And for now, I'll use the remote RPC. Then the agent address. You can copy it from here. This is the one which you registered your keeper on. So paste it here. Now, as I said earlier, we use subgraph for initialization. So subgraph then. And the subgraph URL, I have it somewhere here. Boom, boom. Or on the landing page, which I also sent. Copy and paste. Yeah, this you can leave empty here. Like the default is 3. I just put some default numbers. Here is the maximum gas price for transaction resending, and I suggest you set something like 4 times average gas price in case in case the first try for sending of the transaction fails, the node will try again and again, and it will try this amount of times. Of course, we want logging level debug. So this parameter, it defines whether the compensation plus rewards for execution will accrue on the agent contract, or it will be sent directly to your worker address. So in the first case, your keeper will actually spend Ethereum for execution, like to pay for gas, and the reward with compensation will accrue on the PowerAgent contract, and you will be able to withdraw it to any address when you want to do it. But there is the risk that your keeper runs out of native token for gas payment. The plus is you do not lose on transferring. If set to false, then every time your keeper executes a job, the reward plus compensation will be transferred directly to your keeper's address, and you don't have to worry about the gas price. So I'll set to false. Yeah, here what I mentioned, we can configure on the keeper side regarding the gas prices. So if the job owner set the maximum gas price for his task, like for example 25 GUI, and the gas is now 40 GUI, your keeper can he cannot execute the task if he doesn't want to, and whether he wants it or not, you set by this flag. So remember, you will not be paid. You will not be compensated for gas which is over what the job owner said. And if you set to false, then not executing such tasks will not result in slashing. So it's purely on your desire. Again, some logging, priority gas price overhead. Again, it's the priority gas, the maximum priority gas you want to set. Let's set it 5. 13 for Ethereum goes okay, and
It's not the priority gas, it's the overhead. We estimate the priority gas from an RPC call, and this is the value that is added to it.
yeah, thank you. So now let's wait for the installation.
While it is installing, if you are going to use your own RPC, please remember that you need to enable the WebSockets. They are usually disabled by default.
Yeah, everything that I tell here is also in the landing page, which I sent to the chat. So here is a very detailed guide on how to do everything I show here. So, and also the section with all the up-to-date resources, like the contracts, the packages, the URLs you need. The formula for reward and compensation is here as well. Yeah, and you see the app is started. All we need to do, all we have left to do, is to activate our keeper. It is created unactivated to give you some time to set up the node. Let's go to the My Keeper section. Wait a bit for it loading. Yeah, and you can see the keeper was created. So this is our worker address. The stake it has now, it's Ethereum balance. Now we have to press complete activation and confirm, and wait some time. And while we are waiting, let me show you the Explorer mode here. So you can see all the existing keepers in the network. You can see the total CVP stake, total executions of all jobs, and total reward paid. Yeah, right now we have 5 active keepers on mainnet. There is the details about each keeper, and as well the same dashboard is for jobs. So we have 2 jobs. One is deactivated, one is active, which gets executed. You can see that all 33 executions were on this job. Let's return to our keeper. Yep, and it is active. Let's check in the DappNode. Right here. Yeah, you can see the event finalize keeper activation. So the PowerAgent node got this event and launched the watch process for all jobs. So that's it for the keeper creation. And as a bonus, let me show how you can create some jobs if you want to automate something. So you navigate to My Jobs tab, press Create Job. Again, you select the contract, the agent contract on which you want to create the job. The details of the contract of the whole network are here below, but we press Create Job. And let me again use my cheat sheet. Yeah, so here the owner is the account from which you operate, as I said. So it can be your main account and it is fetched automatically. The target contract is the contract you want to automate. In our case, it is a simple counter contract, just for demonstration. So what it does is increments like a counter based on some conditions. So first, let me introduce the interval task. Here's the slider, use resolver or not. If off, this will be the interval task. The ABI of contract is fetched automatically. If not, you can paste the ABI yourself if you do not want to verify the contract on Etherscan. And you select the method which you want to automate. For example, a simple increment method. Here you set the interval. Let's do it every 6 hours. Here you specify the stake. So let me remind a bit about the stake range. So the minimal stake range defines the set of keepers which can execute your task. So if you have some very important task, for example, liquidation protection, you want to trust only keepers with big stakes, because bigger stakes mean bigger responsibility. So you can set, for example, it for 3,500 or even more. If you have a simple task, then it's okay to just allow everyone to execute it. And the higher cap, the max cap on the stake defines the maximum stake you want to reward. So keepers with stakes higher than this maximal cap will receive reward as if they had only 2,500 cap. So it's whether your task is important or not. So if you do not want to pay lots of CVP for a silly task, this maximal cap defines it. And all that's left to do is to top up the job balance. If I recall correctly, the minimal one is 0.01 or 0.01. I don't exactly remember, but yeah, and this balance will be used to pay keepers and to compensate them for gas. There are actually two modes for balance. If you have lots of jobs from one account, you can switch that later to use your own balance. So all the jobs will be funded from the centralized place from your account. And if you have a single job, then you can deposit credits to this job directly. And for the resolver, if you want to use a resolver, again, you paste your target contract, check use resolver, select the method you want to automate. For example, let's go with increment with call data. And here you have to specify the resolver contract. And what it is, let me show you quickly. So the resolver contract, or it is more correctly to say the resolver function, is a function in any contract. which returns either false or true with call data. Well, the call data returned in both ways, but it is only needed when true. What it does, you implement like arbitrary logic here. So for example, if it is a limit order, here you will write some code to check the price of the asset you want to trade. And if the price reaches the desired value, then the function will return true and the call data. And the call data, for example, is some parameters for the swap function. Keepers on their side execute this function statically every block. So it's like a virtual execution. They do not send the transaction, they just call this function every block. And as soon as this function returns true, they will send the execution transaction to the agent contract. Well, while it returns false, they will do nothing. So here you like specify the resolver contract. Again, the ABI is fetched automatically if the contract is verified on Etherscan, and you select the function. You can see that interval is blocked here because, of course, it's either one or another. Here, the function defines whether the task should be executed now or not. So that was a little intro to job creation.
That's very easy. Mm-hmm.
And here I will also send the links to the sample repo with different complex and not complex resolver tasks. And I can tell also that we are now like making some final polish. We created a fully automated strategy based on DCA and lending borrowing. So we have like a job that buys Ether on dollar cost averaging, then converts it to wrapped Ether, then swaps it to wrapped staked Ether, then lends it and borrows some stablecoin, and then deposits stablecoin into a farming platform and automatically collects yields from there. And it also monitors your debt health factor. So if you are close to liquidation, it automatically unstakes everything and repays the debt or tops up the collateral, whatever you choose. And as I said, this is all automated by PowerAgent. Like you, the only thing you need is to provide some initial details and press one button, and then it is done for you. And the actual value here is that you're in a full control of your funds. So unlike some existing on-chain strategies where there are unknown off-chain computations happening, and you basically give your funds to someone, to some shady contracts. Here you can create your own contract. You can manage all the allowances yourself. So these contracts will be only for you, and you always know what is executed, how the funds are transferred, etc., etc. So it's like super safe.
I wish to
This
provide
is
clarification.
yeah.
Firstly, it was said about job credits and job owner credits. By default, the credits that you deposit via the UI are job owner credits. So by default, all of your jobs are financed from one source that you have to pay each time you register a job. Regardless, is an oversight that will hopefully be fixed soon. Secondly, when you register a resolver job, your resolver will yield call data, including some selector. This selector must match the selector of the function to automate that you select in the UI, because by default, the assertion that the selectors match is enabled.
Right on. Okay, perfect. So yeah. So thanks for this amazing demo. This was, I mean, it was super crazy to see how easy it is to create a job. So of course, there's the two types of jobs, and if you need to deploy a smart contract, you need to know what you're doing, of course. But if you just want to do something every X amount of time, that's basically you need zero knowledge, and you just need to follow up the instructions, and that's crazy easy. Which brings me to the fact that, yeah, there's definitely a lot of it that will be done. And for the complex parts, for the custom logic, for the custom smart contracts, that to me, it just shows how quickly dApps or smart contract developers will start creating these automations that then you can just sign up to, like, easily. Or as I was saying before, I don't think users will set up this. There's going to be at some point in a few months, hopefully, that where the dApps that you interact with, they will offer you these automations by default. You will not have to be behind the screen to trigger all of the transactions. So that was dope. Extremely easy to set up a keeper node, and fairly easy as well to set up a new job. So kudos to the PowerPool team, because that's been great. I have to say that kudos to the PowerPool team as well, because the package, the DappNode package, is really well done. I think it's probably one of the best well done packages that have been done externally, that are not done by the DappNode team, and it's an amazing package. So congratulations as well. Okay. Just a reminder, we do have a PowerPool channel on the Discord, so you just search for the PowerPool channel. It's in the Friends category. So there you can ask all the questions and everything you need. So feel free to use that, to use that channel. The PowerPool team is monitoring this channel, so they will be here responding to any questions that you might have after this. So maybe we'll share the links in that channel as well, in the PowerPool channel, just to make sure that people can find them easy, and I can pin it, so they'll be there for posterity and for when people need it. And I just want to say that this is an incredible opportunity. Thank you so much for coming into our community call and demoing this. This is the perfect example of a symbiotic relationship where node runners can already start getting some revenue from their nodes. Really much appreciated. That are people building things for decentralization. This is you guys.
I can just give a little leak that we are also preparing some templates for resolver jobs. For example, the limit orders or some other strategies will be available sometime later as like templates, which you can fork for yourself and like not think too much about it. Just deploy your own contract and use it for your pleasure.
Amazing. I can't wait. Seriously. This is dope. Thank you so much for coming and sharing this with us. We'll share this form. I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that are here will sign up. I know I will. So thank you very much for coming and showing us and giving us the alpha. And we will see you in the Discord channel if we have any doubts.
Yeah, thank you very much.